We welcome you into the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show. Glenn Clark, Paul Valley, but most importantly, your lovely and talented host, Ken Zalis. What's going on, KZ?
What's happening?
I think
Week 11.
It is. I've heard that.
There's 4
it's in the
weeks
papers.
of the regular season. Some kooky leagues, it's 3 weeks of the regular season.
Eesh.
Means you are dealing with a bye week during your playoffs, which is dumb.
I'm 500 in both the leagues that I care about. Dead 500 in both leagues, which means I can't.
You're in it.
And that's the problem. I can't sell for draft picks. I can't. I don't feel good enough about my team to think I'm winning a championship. But it's. I would say it's the Mark Turgeon of fantasy football. It's the situation that I'm in right now. Yeah. Hey, if you need to hone your computer skills to boost your career, or maybe you want an IT certification, CCBC Continuing Education has the courses and programs you need for a career in the computer field, and it's all tuition-free. From the basics to specialized training, we have the classes you need, from hardware to programming to cybersecurity and so much more. It's your choice. It's your career. Call 443-840-4700 or visit ccbcmd.edu/computer training. I do want to tell you a story from this week.
Okay.
The only reason I am 500 in one league, I don't know what this is an ESPN league that we're in. I don't know what their mathematical equations are for figuring out the percentage chance of winning, but they were dead wrong on Monday night as I tuned in at a point where the 49ers, I had George Kittle and the Rams kicker.
Okay.
And he had Cooper Kupp.
Ah.
And the 49ers had stopped throwing the ball.
Yes.
They were no longer going to be doing that.
Yes.
The Rams were not only throwing the ball on every play, they were only throwing it to Cooper Kupp at that point in the game. And it was I think I was up by 8, and it said I had a 98% chance of winning. And I'm like, well, no, I do not. There is no chance that that's true because they're not considering circumstances when they do that. They're not thinking about the fact the 49ers aren't throwing the ball.
Going based on
this is how he had 16 points already,
yeah,
so right.
He was only going to score another 4.
So their math's all screwed up. Yeah. And so now I'm panicked. And indeed, I get to watch as I fall behind by a point and a half because Cooper Kupp is catching every ball. But
for some reason,
God,
for some unknown reason,
I could kiss you, Sean McVay. They get backed up because of some penalties, and they're faced with 4th and goal from the 20-yard line. And despite the fact that it helps them in no way,
the game's over.
It's not true. Technically, it's a 3-possession game. So technically, in the bizarre-ass scenario where you're trying to make it seem like
what was there it
was
a minute and a half
it was the most bonkers thing.
It was ridiculous.
Sean McVay decides to kick a field goal, and that legitimately is the only reason why I was victorious. It was one of the great field goals of my life. Yeah. Nothing is meaningless, friends. Yes. Nothing's meaningless. All right, how serious should we be taking the New England Patriots from a fantasy perspective beyond the running backs? We'll talk about the running backs in a second, but I mean Mac Jones and a couple of these wide receivers. How seriously should we be taking them at this point?
I think we have to take them more seriously than we've been. I still don't have Mac Jones in my top 15 because they're still a run-first team, so it's difficult to project these 250, 2-touchdown games from him week in and week out, even against a team like Atlanta that can give up some yards through the air. If you're in some situations where, I'm playing him over Matt Ryan, if it's 1 versus 1 tonight, he's over Jimmy G for me because they want to run the ball more than anything else, it seems like. So he's usable. I had this discussion.
I decided to pick him up in one of my Justin Herbert leagues because, one, I'm frustrated with Justin Herbert, but more just because I wondered if last week was a sign that they think he can throw the ball a little bit more.
Well, I think he can. You have a safety net, and had this discussion with Kyle from the Grave on Sunday, trying to figure out if he should play wide receiver X, Y, or Z. And, I said to him, Myers is as safe a floor guy as there is. He gets 5 to 6 catches a week, gets 40 to 50 yards, doesn't score touchdowns, but you're getting 10 PPR points week in and week out from him, and he's involved in the offense. I said, if he ever does score or he gets like the 2-point conversion like he got the week before, I said, you're a little bit better than wide receiver 3 numbers. And so he's really safe as a wide receiver 3 flex option for me week in and week out. Bourne's the guy that isn't getting enough attention. Like, he's a top 15 wide receiver over the last 5 weeks in fantasy. And, I picked he was on a lot of waiver wires this week. And
I noticed.
I added him in places where, maybe I took a shot at Tyler Johnson from Tampa with everybody, but, with Godwin coming back, obviously the targets weren't there last week. So I think you can take him seriously. I think Hunter Henry, very touchdown dependent, but what tight end isn't right now when you got guys like Hawkinson and Gesicki putting up 0.0 in a week, with Jonnu Smith hurt and not necessarily playing like many expected Jonnu Smith to play in that offense. I think there's some fantasy relevant. And then, the big elephant in the room and the big question for tonight. And
would you drop Mac Jones to pick up Bourne? And I've got Herbert and Burrow in that league.
You got who?
Herbert and Burrow.
Oh yeah. You don't need Mac Jones.
I just have this this premonition that I have about him.
Well, but you're not.
No, I'm with you. I'm not going to play him. Right, I'm not going to play him. Yeah.
But and then there's a question I've had somebody as we start the show who's obviously not listening to the show, and I'll yell at him in a minute. Asked me 3 questions about Harris.
It's almost like how you treat my show.
Harrison Stevenson, what for tonight?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's put it this way: if Harris and Stevenson were both perfectly healthy and there was no issue whatsoever, we still wouldn't know because
it's the Patriots. Correct.
So
this is who they are.
So this is who they are. So here's the way I'm kind of analyzing this. If Harris is active, he's the starter.
Yep.
He's the one I'm playing over Stevenson. I know we loved Stevenson last week, and I know the week before when Harris got hurt, we loved him and he caught some passes. I don't know that I can trust him. And it depends on what your options are. If you want to play them both, fantastic. Just don't expect both of them to be relevant this week. Bolden's still there to steal a catch here or two and things like that. J.J. Taylor, whether he's active, I don't know, but he's a third down back. But they use Myers as in that James White role to be that third down guy. And if you're choosing one or the other, I'm choosing Harris. And if you don't have them both and you're saying to me, well, should I play Stevenson? He's a flex option at best for me.
Where do you have him ranked?
I don't know.
Thanks a lot. Big.
I know. I have Harris. Where do I have Harris? I have Harris as the starter at 20.
Okay.
And I have Stevenson at 32.
Okay. All right. So that's a viable flex. That's not it might be your guy at that point.
It might be your guy. Look, I have Harris just above Josh Jacobs, and Antonio Gibson, Elijah Mitchell, and Elijah Mitchell's there because we don't know with the whole finger thing. And I have Stevenson right below Jordan Howard.
Okay. All right, there we go.
That's, what we're talking about that.
All right, AJ Dillon. How high are you on him this week?
I want to rank him 1.
Wow.
I want to. I'm not going to, but I want to rank him 1. I believe, and I believe I have him 3.
Okay.
That's where I am.
So it's obvious.
This is a plug and play. There is nothing we have seen from AJ Dillon that doesn't tell me that he can't step right in and be better than Aaron Jones has been this year.
He runs hard. He does.
Runs
hard.
Right.
Like
goal line. He catches the ball more than anybody ever expected him to. He's top 5 for me. It's McCaffrey, Najee Harris, Dillon for me. Now, Chubb could move up there above him maybe when I'm all said and done, but I'm not moving Cook above him. I don't like Cook's matchup. I don't think – I mean, you can't bench Cook. I mean, he's in my top 5.
Right.
But, Jonathan Taylor, don't love his matchup. Ezekiel Elliott, love his matchup, but we still have the Pollard thing. This is an AJ Dillon running back. There's no one to share with. You don't even know the other guy, the number 2 running back. I don't know if any of us know him. I think it's Patrick Taylor. I don't.
Okay, sure. I'll believe you.
Don't ask me.
You're the guy. I sure as hell don't know. Yeah,
right. No, don't go pick him up. He has no value whatsoever. So I love everything about AJ Dillon.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. How good are we feeling about Saquon Barkley going into Monday?
Not so much. Look, he's an RB2 for me. I mean, you couldn't have picked a worse team for him to come back from. I mean, I get it. People are going to look to last week. Well, Antonio Gibson scored 2 touchdowns. The man had 24 carries and like 60 yards. He ran nowhere on them. He was touchdown dependent. That's not how you play fantasy football on touchdowns, when you're in a half PPR and a PPR league. Your standard league, sure. He's there. He gets the touches. I don't know if they give him a full complement. And Booker has some flex appeal. I'm not flexing Booker, but I'm also not putting Barkley back in my top 10 yet.
And the Booker thing, it's just over, right? You can drop him.
If you don't own Barkley,
yes,
and you still have a trade deadline that hasn't come, trade him to the Barkley owner for something of value. If you have a spot on your roster, like he's the bottom of the bench, but you can't start him. Like he should be owned. We're in the part of fantasy football where every handcuff should be owned. Every running back handcuff should be owned and on a roster. So should he be dropped? No, but if you don't own Barkley, I try to still trade him to the Barkley owner for something of value that you need, or you just keep him at the bottom of your bench.
How close do you think we are to Miles Sanders?
I think we're a week or so away.
Okay.
I think, once he comes back, then we could probably, would probably drop Howard would be my drop versus Scott, because Scott still had some touches when he does. I mean, that's a scary one because they refused to give him the ball when he was healthy, and you just kind of hold everybody for a week probably. And see how it works out. But we're probably a week away from him. We're probably a week away from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And
they still have their bye, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see how healthy he is. It went from, I think he'll be active till he practiced yesterday. And we may hold him out after the bye, which means he doesn't look great. And Darrell Williams is going away at this point. I mean, he was terrific last week. He's not going to go away. So even Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming in is coming back to a time split, so it's not like we're talking about we're not talking about Cam Akers of last year that all of a sudden won the job, came back from his little nicked up whatever he had early, and he was a fantasy star. We're not that's not what we're talking about with Clyde Edwards-Helaire this year.
What about are we actually getting Logan Thomas back this week?
Doesn't look like it. I mean, longest hamstring injury. I mean, he's just not ready, and he hasn't practiced. He didn't practice yesterday, which is a terrible sign. We don't put a lot, like we've been saying all year, we don't put a lot into Wednesday practices unless it's a guy that's been out for 8 weeks. And
right.
You'd
like to hope, yes.
It's like, can you get on the field? If you can't get on the field in the first practice of the week, you're probably not playing if it's a guy that's on IR.
We're feeling good about Alvin Kamara, right?
Yeah, we feel good about him, which is, I mean, thank God. Yep. We felt really bad about it because it didn't look that serious, but then it's like, oh, he's out and it's a knee. But, yeah, he practiced yesterday at a limited basis, so we feel really good about him.
And any further clarity in the Tennessee backfield?
What's the name I told you last week?
Adrian Peterson.
No, I told you Donta Foreman.
Oh, you did. That's right. You did say Donta Foreman. That's right.
2
weeks ago, you said Adrian Peterson.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right.
But last
that's
week,
right. You did.
Like Donta Foreman looks like the back to have. Now again, Peterson's still there, but doesn't have his sea legs under him, and Donta looks like he's ready. He's the guy there right now, and And McNichols is just I don't even have a room for my ride. Like if you say to me I'm dropping him for something else, okay. He hasn't been used.
What about the situation in Baltimore?
Only one you can play is Murray to me.
Okay.
I only one you can play is Murray.
All right.
I don't know where he's probably a flex for me. But any value that Freeman had is gone. I'm done with the Tyson Williams thing. I got a million questions about that already. No, I'm hoping they activate McCrary and give him a shot. And that's the thing. That's the guy. If you're looking to pick up a guy that could be that dart at the end of the year, that's probably the guy I'm picking up right now for the Baltimore backfield.
All right. When we come back in, we're going to answer your questions. Get them in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter or put them in the comments, and KZ will tell you what you should be doing this week. It's the Week 11 version of the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show.
Need to hone your computer skills to boost your career? Or maybe you want an IT certification? CCBC Continuing Education has the courses and programs you need for a career in the computer field. And it's all tuition free. From the basics to specialized training, we have the classes you need, from hardware to programming to cybersecurity, and so much more. It's your choice. It's your career. Call 443-840-4700 or visit ccbcmd.edu/computer training.
Come in for Glory Burgers, Glory Wings. There's glory for everyone at Glory Days Grill. Enjoy their award-winning burgers, ribs, and wings, or try our fresh salads, hand-cut salmon, or our scrumptious sandwiches. Yum! Come in for our daily specials every weekday, like $6.99 burgers on Mondays and $5.99 nachos on Thursdays. And watch football on their big screens every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday. Dine in and let us serve you, or order online at glorydaysgrill.com and take it home. Visit us at glorydaysgrill.com for a location near you. Glory Days Grill, great food, good sports.
If you change lanes and brake suddenly in front of my tractor trailer, I won't be able to stop. Our lives could change forever. Trucks need room to stop. Don't cut it close.
Brought to you by the Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway Administration.
The all-new FanDuel Sportsbook is coming soon to Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Maryland, this is your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all of the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
What's up, everybody? This is Tyus Bowser. I can't wait to see you guys for the Tyus Bowser Show this fall. We're going to be taking the show on the road all over the area. You can meet me and my very special guests. If you can't make it out, you can watch the show on live on Pressbox Facebook page or listen the next day. Find out more about where we'll be by checking out PressboxOnline.com/Bowser. We'll see you all season long for the Tyus Bowser Show.
The next Tyus Bowser Show is this Tuesday night, November 23rd at Alonzo's on Cold Spring Lane. It's brought to you by Window Depot Baltimore, WindowDepotBaltimore.com, and Duffy's Garage in Baldwin, Duffy'sGarageMD.com, as well as Pressbox and Grade 8's memorabilia. And the NFL chick, Sarita Hubbard, joins us courtesy of MyBookie. Sorry, there we go. Back in here on the Pressbox Fantasy Football Show. Ken Zalis in studio, getting you ready for the week. Hey, KZ, why don't you remind everybody one more time about Underdog Fantasy Football before we do questions?
Underdog Fantasy Football. Here's I'll tell you about all the games, but they're going to give you money, courtesy of your friends at Pressbox. All you have to do is make your first deposit, $10 or more, up to $100. Pressbox and Underdog will match it dollar for dollar. So if you deposit $100, you get $100. But the fun part is, because until we get these things situated here in the great state of Maryland, you can do prop bets, player props, and you could do two. And
from your phone. Because even when we get this situated in Maryland,
I mean,
you're not going to be able to do it on your phone.
I'll be honest. With Underdog, I don't even know if they have a web on the web, because I do everything with Underdog.
They do. It's UnderdogFantasy.com. I promise. We should let people know. They definitely.
But dude, the app is immensely easy to use. Look, I like it. You can say, but Ken, they're a sponsor. Yeah, they are. But I played Underdog before they were a sponsor. Was excited as can be when they became a sponsor. 2 to 5 prop bets wins up to 20 times your money. Put $5 down, win all 5, you get $100. Okay,
and you've hit on these.
I have.
Yeah.
I actually did the $1 one because I'm not so sure on the NBA sometimes. But I did a $1 one on Monday. Won $20.
Nice.
Hit my 5.
Nice.
So I'm gonna take that and maybe do whole $20 and see if I can win a big one with the NFL. But you could do it one game. You can do it the whole slate. You can also do drafts against other players, head-to-head, or up to 6 players, where you're drafting 1 to 6 players depending on the type of game you play, and whoever has the most points wins the pot. So, and it's NBA, like I said, it's NHL. They do, if you're into Premier League soccer, they do Premier League soccer. They did baseball. In other states, you can do college basketball and college football. So it's a lot of fun, and you should go check it out right now. And if you are not playing, just deposit $10. You get $10 right back.
Or deposit $100 and you get $100.
But
yeah,
if you're not sure.
I understand.
If you're not sure,
I understand.
At least go do 10.
Well, yeah, but
what do you got to lose?
The free money's the free money, man.
I don't want to get into somebody's wallet.
I understand. It's still free money that we're talking about. Deposit
$100.
$100.
There's no risk. You get $100.
Deposit $100 right now. You get $100 free. Again, use that code PRESSBOX with Underdog Fantasy Football. This question came from Dan, and I normally start with me,
Dan.
but this is one that actually I could impact. I might do something similar, so I'm going to let Dan be the one to ask it, but understand. It's also for me.
I got you.
Would you drop, and this is quite the mouthful, would you drop Devontae Freeman in favor of Dante Foreman? Quite the mouthful.
Yeah, I would, and here's the reason I would do that. Freeman is what he is. He had the chance to shine. He had one game where he got into the end zone. Everybody got in the end zone that game. Bell got in the end zone. He now got cut. Foreman has a chance to be the lead guy for a team and get 15-plus carries a week. Freeman's never doing that. Not unless they figure out what's going on with their offensive line. Hopefully the Ravens starting to get some guys back. There was some positive things there. And he needs Latavius Murray to be out for the season. I don't think Foreman is in. I think Foreman has shown that he's going to get more touches than Adrian Peterson right now. So, yeah, I probably would do that.
All right. Very good. Now, to me, because that's what's most important, you playing as a flex, are you playing Hunter Renfrow, Kendrick Bourne, or Marquez Callaway?
I'm playing Renfrow. He's the most active. He's had 3 really good weeks in a row. He's by default the number 1 receiver in that offense. He gets the most targets, and he's really safe in a PPR. So, I'm going Renfrow there. I don't dislike either of the other 2. Callaway is very touchdown dependent.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks he scored. It's looked great, but we're only talking 3 catches each week. And Bourne is just scary at that offense. I mean, I'm going to play him in a couple of places where I'm kind of forced to, and hope that what we've seen the last 5 weeks, and he really is that top. Even if he's a top 24 receiver, I mean, you're getting those numbers out of him. But Renfrow right now has established himself as a solid guy.
Any chance I'm playing Joe Burrow over Justin Herbert?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, without knowing my rankings off the top of my head, I probably have them back-to-back. I have Burrow at 9 and Herbert at 10. So, yeah, there's a chance. I mean, they're right there. Burrow has the better matchup.
Right.
He's
coming off the bye.
He's on the road, so they are traveling a little bit, coming off the bye. He's got the better overall talent on offense because he's got that third receiver that we can split hairs with who has more offensive talent. But Mike Williams has disappeared from Justin Herbert's sight. And that's a problem when you only have the ball going to 2 people right now. So, yeah, I can play Burrow this week over Herbert.
All right. Let me get to some listener questions from this is from Paul. Full-point PPR, second running back spot, best option between Pollard, Foreman, and Wayne Gallman.
Okay. Gallman was because it was a blowout, so just take Gallman out of your thought process. Probably Pollard this week based on the matchup. I mean, you've got to think that Dallas. I know they're very explosive, but you want to keep Mahomes off the field, and they can be run on. So I like Pollard out of those three.
All right, this is maybe overreacting a little bit to what they saw against the Ravens a week ago, but I get it. These aren't great options for a defense. From Chris wants to know Miami's defense against the Jets or the Chargers' defense against the Steelers.
I'm going Miami. I'm in my top 5 this week. I
Ooh.
mean, the Jets starting Joe Flacco. You got to think that there's. They can sack. He's not mobile, as we know, and it's not a knock. That's just a fact.
But he's doing the polite thing and not talking about why he's not unvaccinated in order to prevent it from being a distraction. That doesn't cost something. It doesn't.
Whatever.
It's the polite. He's showing his real leadership, obviously, because he's not going to talk about it.
Whatever. Another idiot. And I don't care. You can at me at Fans Fantasy. He's an idiot. He's not vaccinated. There.
I'm with Ken, so you can at me too.
I'm sorry. I mean,
y'all can at me whatever you want.
3 for 3.
3 for 3. Paul, you can at Paul. In fact, I prefer at Paul. That's what I want you to do.
Paul.
We've all made a collective decision. Paul's going to be the spokesperson on this one. You got a problem at Paul. All right.
I'll have Laura take over my Twitter handle.
She's a nurse, so that's a good
respiratory
good
therapist.
Sorry,
with
I'm
COVID
sorry.
might
I'm
be a little bit
sorry.
better.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I knew that. I did know that. If she's I did know that. I'm very sorry. I know that's true.
So yeah. I mean, I like Miami. Look, the Dolphin defense, by the way, has played pretty well even before the Ravens game, and they were the biggest problem early on is their entire secondary was hurt. Well, they're back, and they have good players. I mean, Howard's a really good player. Why they were trying to trade him early in the season, I don't know. But really good player. So, yeah, I like Miami this week.
From Chris, Allen Robinson or T.Y. Hilton? Yuck. Boy, that Allen Robinson thing was sure fun. God.
I can't.
Hey, man, what do you do? He's got to play one of them.
There's got to be somebody better. I mean, I get it. Go see if Bourne's on the waiver wire and play him. It's Robinson over Hilton. For me, just neither one are any good as far as for fantasy this year.
By the way, I'm in our sleeper league. This is
well, that's
no. I'm looking at our sleeper league right now, and literally I was at the free agent list, and I'm like, oh, Rob Gronkowski's sitting there. I'll pick him up. Yeah. Kyle Ottenheimer picked him up 2 seconds.
So
2 seconds.
He must have just been dropped
before I was able to pick him up, so it's not an option for me.
I mean, you've knocked that league all year, but it's a lot of fun. It's challenging as can be.
When you use the term fun,
it's challenging as can be.
It's very challenging. It's
but
definitely
you win nothing.
That's true. It's also, but we've had that problem eternally with KZ's league. That's the issue.
Look, we could all put up some cash next year.
I would rather do that.
Okay.
I would rather do. I've told you that a million times before.
We'll do
I would
that.
rather do that.
Okay. I mean, it's Robinson over Hilton, but
okay. All right. There you go, Chris. You know what? He follows up. He says, "No, Kendrick Bourne is not available."
Okay. Well, yeah, I gave it a shot. I'm sorry that you're where you are, and the Robinson thing for the entire fantasy industry just sucks. But I mean, the Ravens can be thrown on. Fields has been better, so let's give it a shot.
Okay. All right. Very good. Go ahead, Paul.
I have a lot of questions.
A lot.
All right. So, am I starting Derek Carr or Cam Newton?
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. All right. In my flex, Damian.
What a world we're living in, by the way. What a world.
Damian Harris, Michael Carter, or Rashad Bateman.
Oh, Carter. Smash.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the
smash for Michael Carter.
Yeah.
Smash.
Mr. Checkdown's his quarterback.
Yeah, all right. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
He may catch 10 balls.
All right. Fair enough. Make a point.
Latavius Murray or Zach Moss?
Oh, so close. So I probably would have given you Moss about 30 minutes ago, and then Brown went out for, looks like he's on the COVID list, the offensive lineman for Buffalo. I'm going to go Murray here.
All right.
Because either way, we have to get a touchdown to be profitable, to be useful. So I'll hope that Murray gets one.
Brian Edwards or Mecole Hardman? I have a lot of injured wide receivers.
Oh my God! I mean, we're let's see. How far do I have to go down? Mecole Hardman.
Okay.
We're outside of flex territory. Just letting you know.
I mean, it's
No,
what it
we are.
is. It's what it is.
No,
you got
I
the
mean,
players that you got.
No.
If players are hurt, I mean, there's nobody else on the waiver wire.
No, there isn't.
David Montgomery or Darrell Williams?
Oh, we're gonna play Darrell Williams here.
Darrell
I mean,
Williams.
I like Montgomery, but still no CEH. Williams getting all the touches. Ravens still do stop the run pretty well.
Okay. And are Rob Gronkowski and Antonio Brown, are they gonna play?
No.
Neither one of them are gonna play.
Feel better about Brown than I would Gronk, but I don't think we see either one this week.
All right, very good. Ken, I want to remind everybody that Glory Days Grill is the place to go to watch the game tonight because they got $5.99 at chili nachos every Thursday. If you need someone to watch the game on Monday, they got $6.99 burgers every Monday at your neighborhood Glory Days Grill. Stop by your neighborhood Glory Days Grill or put your order in at glorydaysgrill.com. Pick it up, take it home for the weekend, make your family happy. I highly recommend the barbecue cauliflower wings. They are outstanding. Again, glorydaysgrill.com is the website. What else should people know about going into Week 11?
Still a lot. So Kyler Murray practiced. That does not mean he's going to play. They're one of these late bye teams. They're 8-2. I think the Rams losing kind of makes him more likely to sit. So we gotta be careful there. Running back, like I said, we talked about him a little bit. Even if CEH is back, I'm not rushing him into my lineup this week. I don't like that situation. The Gallman situation, the coach flat out came out and said the only reason he was used so much is because they were getting blown out. So if Patterson is out, I don't love Mike Williams, but he's usable. If Patterson is in, look, you sort of forced to play him. I don't love guys that are on a short week, have an ankle. We don't know if they practice.
By the way, let's talk a little bit more about Cam Newton just because we sort of blew past it and I didn't bring it up at the beginning. Like, are you buying into this as viable moving forward?
So here's the thing with Cam Newton. I don't think he can throw the football.
Right.
Okay? But he doesn't have to. If he's going to – he came in for 3 plays. Even if he's just a threat at the goal line, he rushes one in. He finished in the top – he played like 8 plays. He finished in the top 20 of quarterbacks last week.
I understand.
So, yeah, I mean, based on the matchup,
it just feels like the type of week where they're going to have to throw the ball more.
And I'm okay with that. I don't know that you will, but they don't have anybody to rush the passer in Washington now. Both of their ends that we felt so good about, they're both out. The defense has been better, but now
I hear you.
Now you're playing, going up against his old coach. I mean, I just. They have weapons. You can dump the ball. Look, even when Cam couldn't throw the ball, he's dumping the ball 10, 12 times to McCaffrey and getting 100 yards. So, you get 200 yards, you throw one, and you rush one. We're a top 12 quarterback.
All right.
So I have him at 13 this week.
All right.
So, yeah.
Very good. If you didn't get your question in, at Fans Fantasy on Twitter is the way to do it, yes?
One more quick thing.
Yes.
Dallas Goedert
Yes.
went out kind of – people were upset last week because there really wasn't an official word. He's in the concussion protocol, did not practice yesterday. If he does not get a limited in today, he's probably out this week.
Okay. All right. Very good. So continue to monitor that. All right. At Fans Fantasy on Twitter is how you follow him. Next week, obviously, we will not be here on Thursday. We're not doing it. Wouldn't really help much because the game started about 20 minutes after the show ends. We will be here on Wednesday afternoon. KZ and I will be with you at 4:30 Wednesday afternoon. Same locations, facebook.com/PressBoxSports and PressBoxOnline.com/radio to watch or listen to the show. It'll be at 4:30 next Wednesday afternoon for a Thanksgiving week edition of the PressBox Fantasy Football Show. Cool? Cool. Thank you. All right. KZ, thank you.
Thank you.
We will see you next Wednesday. For him and Paul, I'm Glenn. This has been the PressBox Fantasy Football Show.